Well, hey there. How's it going, everybody? It's your boy once again, Dylan the Villain, and I'm coming back at you with some Total Extreme Wrestling. It's been a while since I uploaded a Total Extreme Wrestling 2020 video of the WWF. We are week 1 of August 1997. We are on our way to SummerSlam. I am looking forward to getting to SummerSlam because after SummerSlam, we are going to be we are going to be doing some crazy stuff moving forward. It's basically going to be my time to come up with storylines and stuff like that. I've already started working on some storylines for after SummerSlam and everything like that, but SummerSlam, after SummerSlam, it's kind of going to be like a reboot of the WWF save, I guess you can say. We're like, I don't know how to explain it, but we are going to be basically moving into a new era of the WWF after SummerSlam. But enough of introductions, enough of all that. We are in front of 15,000 strong here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And we go to our pre-show as the Old School Express defeats the Rock and Roll Express once again in 13-10 when Chris Candido pinned Robert Gibson with a blonde bombshell, which is like a modified power bomb off the top rope. Looks awesome. Candido carried the match in in-ring work. He got a 55. Steve Corino with almost a 40. Not bad. Robert Gibson 45 and Ricky Martin with a 45. Rock and Roll Express have excellent tag team chemistry together. Nelson Cole and Champion gave the match a boost. And Jim Cornette did some good ring work outside. Jim Cornette being their manager. They're a part of Jim Cornette's new stable. And Candido is still penalized with the personal effects of having a divorce from one Sonny. We are going to move on to the next segment here. And it's another pre-show matchup. An abysmal pre-show matchup. Jushin Thunder Liger defeated Scotty 2 Hotty by pinfall with a sheer drop brainbuster. The match got a 51. Jushin Thunder Liger with a 53 and Scotty 2 Hotty with a 39. Apparently this advances the storyline. I don't know why that did that. But announcing in color commentary gave the match a boost. Before we start and move on to the main show, I'm going to put a piece of gum in my mouth real quick. So my mouth's been getting real dry lately. I quit smoking, so there's some personal information for you. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. And we open the show, and Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler introduce us to Monday Night Raw. And before they can even get done with the introductions of Monday Night Raw, Stone Cold Steve Austin's music hits, and he comes out to the ring. Last night was fully loaded. As we've seen, Steve Austin was not there. He was arrested on Shotgun Saturday Night, I believe. It's been a while, but he was arrested on Shotgun Saturday Night. And he just got out of jail today, and he is back, and he looks pissed. And he comes to the ring, and he goes, as y'all seen this Saturday, I was arrested and put in jail for trespassing at a place that I work. He goes, I don't even know how that's possible. I knew since day one that I walked into this company. I knew that there was going to be hurdles and obstacles that I had to overcome, but never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that one of the obstacles that I had to overcome was a piece of trash nobody like Chris Jericho. He said, I will admit, Chris Jericho, he's been the better man at some nights. But Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't quit and give up that easy. And now that Vince McMahon has a personal vendetta against me and everything that I do because he wants to stick his nose in my business, well, that's just fine with me. Anybody who wants to come out to the ring and get their ass kicked by Stone Cold Steve Austin knows where to find me. I'm here every day of the week, 24/7. Whether you like me or not, I don't really give a damn. So tonight, I'm going to ask one more time whether I have to go back to that locker room and drag you by your blonde little pretty hair and drag your scrawny ass out to this ring and stomp a mud hole in you and walk it dry, Chris Jericho, that Stone Cold Steve Austin will get his hands on you. And all of a sudden, Vince McMahon's music hits. And he walks out with Shane and Pat Patterson and Sergeant Slaughter and Gerald Briscoe, his goons. And he goes, Austin, first and foremost, I want to apologize for having to have the authorities arrest you. He goes, that is not what I wanted to do, and that's something that I never wanted to come to. I never wanted to put a wedge between our relationship as employer and employee. Stone Cold's kind of like, whatever, dude. He's like, look, I didn't come out here to listen to you flap your gums, son. I came out here because I want Chris Jericho tonight. And Vince McMahon's just like, look, Austin, you had your chance against Chris Jericho multiple times, and you fell short every single time. You're one of my top tier talent. I consider you one of the most premium superstars here in the World Wrestling Federation. But with the recent wins of Chris Jericho and his amazing performance at last night's pay-per-view, Steve, I don't even think you're in the same caliber as Chris Jericho. Steve Austin, he puts his hands through his goatee and he's like, he didn't want to hear that. You know, he knows that he's a hell of a lot better than Chris Jericho, of all people. Steve's just like, look, once again, I didn't come out here to flap your damn gums. Either you're going to give me the match, or I'm gonna go make the match, you know. And Vince is like, look, Austin, I promise you right now that you are going to have a match tonight in the main event. And Austin kind of looks, and he's like, what? And Vince is like, yeah. He's like, I'll give you a match tonight in the main event, but it will not be against one Chris Jericho. Steve Austin, like, he kind of looks disappointed, and he's just like, he just starts looking mad a little bit, and Vince is like, you said yourself that you're willing to fight anybody, anywhere, anytime, 24/7. I like that attitude in you, Steve. I like your attitude. I like your moxie, as you will. And he goes, so tonight, I have a man who is looking to move up the card here in the World Wrestling Federation, and somebody who I believe might be the future of the World Wrestling Federation. Somebody that I know that I can trust 100% fully. And somebody that I know will humble you very quick, Mr. Austin. And Stone Cold, he's just like, Vince, I don't care which one of your three little stooges that you have that can out-wrestle Stone Cold Steve Austin, because Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't come here to wrestle. Stone Cold Steve Austin came here to whoop somebody's ass. And he's just like, I don't care who you put me up against in the main event. He's like, I'm gonna whoop their ass, right? And Vince is just like, well, good luck tonight, and we'll see you in the main event. Stone Cold drinks some beer. You know, he celebrates for the fans and stuff like that. But we're going to move on to our next segment. So tonight's main event will be Stone Cold Steve Austin versus a mystery opponent. somebody that Vince says that he can trust, and Vince believes they are the future here of the World Wrestling Federation. We are going to have to see who that is. We move on to our opening contest of the night, and it is Mike Awesome as he defeats Al Snow with an Awesome Bomb, less than 5 minutes, and 3:18 by pinfall with an Awesome Bomb. Match got a 41. Mike Awesome with a 54. He's getting up there, and Al Snow with a 42. Announcing and color commentary gave the match a boost, and Mike Awesome benefited from having a new move. Ah, yes. We go. I forgot some of the stuff that I booked here. Segment got a 100. I believe it's Bret Hart, because Triple H had that last man standing match with Shawn Michaels, and I think it's just like Bret Hart doing an interview. He's basically boasting about how he won a four-way matchup at the pay-per-view. And not only did he win, but he beat Owen, humiliated Owen once again. And he knows that come SummerSlam, after that hellacious match against Shawn Michaels that Triple H had, that Triple H is going to be easy picking. And he basically thanks Triple H for taking out one of his biggest rivals as Shawn Michaels. And Bret Hart basically says he's going to walk into SummerSlam as the World Wrestling Federation and walk out champion of the World Wrestling Federation. World Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion. He's going to walk into SummerSlam as champion, and he's going to walk out of SummerSlam as champion. It doesn't matter if Triple H keeps saying that it's his time, that the future is now, that Triple H is the future moving forward, that Triple H is the greatest thing in professional wrestling right now, that he's the most over superstar in the company, that he doesn't give a shit if fans like him, he doesn't give a shit if fans hate him, he ain't here to impress the fans, he's here to prove that he is what he says he is, and he is the game, he is the game, he is the best of the best, that he is here to prove that not only is he the best of the best, but he's better than Bret Hart, the man who says that he is the best there is, best there was, and best there ever will be. Triple H is saying, you ain't shit, buddy. I'm that fucking good, you know. And Davey Boy and Jim Neidhart are behind Bret Hart, and they're pretty much hyping him up and everything like that. But when they mentioned Owen Hart and how he humiliated Owen, both of them seem a little bit uncomfortable with the whole situation. But this segment is basically Bret Hart basically saying that he's going to beat Triple H at SummerSlam. And even though Triple H did have an awesome match against Shawn Michaels at the pay-per-view, go back and watch that episode. He basically says that Triple H, he can talk all he wants to, but he can't hold a candle to Bret Hart. We're going to move on to the next segment. And it is another match. They do not click, and it showed in their performance. And a bout that had not very much heat in embarrassing wrestling. Christian defeated Ahmed Johnson by pinfall using a foreign object. I mean, that's the only way you can probably beat Ahmed Johnson. The segment got a 52. Christian with a 44 and Ahmed with a 55. I do know that Ahmed was not too pleased that he had to put Christian over. But we may not be seeing Ahmed here much longer. I don't think he's going to renew his contract with us. His contract is up, and I don't think he's going to renew it. So, I did have plans for Ahmed, but I don't think he's going to renew his contract. So, there's that. Kind of don't want to invest into somebody if they're not going to renew. But we will see if he does or doesn't. But Christian picks up the win here tonight on Monday Night Raw. Definitely going to boost his popularity. We move on to the next segment. And it is Kurt Angle and Owen Hart. And Owen Hart is getting interviewed by Michael Cole. And Michael Cole asks, he's just like, Owen, last night was such a heartbreak for you once again. Not only did you step up for your friend Kurt Angle and take his place in the matchup, but you have also made it your personal mission to find out who attacked Kurt Angle before the matchup. We've heard reports saying that Bret Hart and the Hart Foundation denies having anything to do with Kurt Angle being attacked. So who do you believe attacked Kurt Angle and why? And Owen goes, look, I don't know who attacked Kurt Angle, but I'm going to make it a mission to find out who did. Kurt has been almost closer than a brother to me these last few months, and Kurt has really pushed me to be a better competitor and to be a better performer. Young guys like Kurt Angle, young guys like The Rock, young guys like Triple H, who are moving up quickly on the card, who are not only outstanding people, but outstanding professional wrestlers. And I know that I don't have many years left in the ring. I know that one day my time is going to come to where I'm going to have to step down and pass the torch to a younger generation. And if anybody that I want to pass the torch to, it's definitely Kurt Angle. And Michael Cole's just like, well, that's great that y'all two have formed a friendship and everything like that. But I promise you that the person who did attack Kurt Angle, hopefully they have remorse and everything. And Owen's just like, it's not about revenge. It's that you attacked a man who is probably going to end up beating my brother Bret Hart for the World Championship and becoming one of the youngest WWF champions, World Heavyweight Champions in history. Now, I'm not saying that I'm envious of Kurt, because Kurt has the abilities and Kurt has the skill set to be a world champion. But I've never been world champion. And I've got my opportunity last night. And like you said, Michael Cole, I fell short once again. I'm sick and tired of Bret thinking that he's the better heart. I'm sick and tired of Bret thinking that he's the better man when he isn't. I am. And he may sit there and say that he had nothing to do with Kurt's being attacked, but I know damn well, and I know deep in my hearts of hearts, I know how the hearts operate. I know how they think, because I'm one of them. And I know that they'll do anything to succeed and get to the top. And they'll do anything to stay at the top, because I've done it. But Bret, I know you had something to do with Kurt's attack. And when I find out that you did, I'm going to break your damn legs. And then Owen Hart walks away. So Owen Hart is trying to find out who attacked Kurt Angle and why. Hopefully we can find out some answers soon, but we are going to move to our next segment, which is Dean Malenko defeating Mark Merrow by submission with a Texas Cloverleaf. The match got a 77, not bad. Dean Malenko with an 82, and Mark Merrow with a 62. National color commentary gave the match a boost, and Sable did some good ring work outside the ring. Dean Malenko just picking up a win, and after the match, on the Tigertron, on the Jumbotron there, Jim Cornette appears with his stable, the people that he managed, and it is the WWF Light Heavyweight Champion Rob Van Dam with the Old School Express Steve Corino and Chris Candido. And Jim Cornette says, Dean, I will admit that you gave Rob Van Dam a run for his money at the pay-per-view. But Rob Van Dam not only beat you, but beat Rey Mysterio Jr., proving why he is the best light heavyweight here in the World Wrestling Federation. Why he deserves to be the World Light Heavyweight Champion. And if you think this is the end of Rob Van Dam capturing gold here in the World Wrestling Federation, then brother, you're just sadly mistaken. You can beat whoever you want to beat, Dean Malenko. You can wrestle whoever you want to wrestle. You may say that you're the man of 1,000 holds, but your 1,000 holds ain't jack shit compared to the awesome and the high-flying skills and the technical skills of Rob Van Dam. So, Dean, you can win matches all you want to. You can say that you're the #1 contender. But everybody knows deep down inside that you don't stand a chance against Rob Van Dam. So keep winning your matches and doing whatever you got to do, because Rob Van Dam knows that come SummerSlam, he is going to beat your ass once again. The segment got a 95. He basically hypes up everybody in his stable. Basically hyping him up, mainly Rob Van Dam, about how he's the light heavyweight champion. He won the belt at Fully Loaded pay-per-view, and he's going on to SummerSlam. And he basically, Jim Cornette's saying he doesn't give a shit who it is, who's the #1 contender. Come SummerSlam for the light heavyweight championship, Rob Van Dam is going to beat him. We move on to the next segment, and it is Big Papa Scott Steiner as he defeats Mr. Perfect by submission with the Steiner recliner. The match got an 81. Not bad, guys. Not bad at all. Scotty Steiner with a 76 and Mr. Perfect with a 73. I thought they had good chemistry together. I think that's why I booked this match. But announcing color commentary gave the match a boost, and Mr. Perfect is getting better at his gimmick. It's just a match to get Scott Steiner on the card. And we go on to our another tag team. We go to commercial and we come back. In a decent match, Vader and Sid defeat the Godwins when Psycho Sid pinned Henry O. Godwin after a double powerbomb. Sid and Vader make defense #1 of the WWF World Tag Team Championships tag team titles. The Godwins with a 47-46, Vader with a 87, and Sid with a 92. Not bad, Sid. Henry O. Godwin and Phineas have the tag team specialist bonus. The performance of Psycho Sid really stood out. Good job, Sid. Not bad, Sid. Not bad, Sid. But the match got a 69. Nice. And we're going to move on to our next segment. And it is Double J, Jeff Jarrett. And he is standing backstage with his new manager, Deborah. Deborah, being a very beautiful, busty woman, is standing behind Jeff Jarrett. And he goes, look, I said it once and I said it again. He's out in the ring. I'm sorry. He's like, I said it once and I say it again. He goes, with my new manager, Deborah, by my side, nobody in the back, and I mean nobody in the back, will ever defeat Double J, Jeff Jarrett. You see, Double J has the right words to say, and he's all about that pay. And I done told you once before, I was in the King of the Ring and I made it to the Final Four. I am one of the best wrestlers here in the World Wrestling Federation. And I don't care who you are in the back. If you can think that you can beat Double J, Jeff Jarrett, well then bring your ass out here, because I'm about to humiliate you and make you famous. Segment got a 51, and all of a sudden, Jeff Jarrett's in the ring, and Deborah steps out of the ring, and it's kind of quiet, you know. Nobody has come out yet. Jeff Jarrett's kind of standing there, and he's standing there for a few minutes, and nobody's come out. Nobody comes out. Then he grabs the microphone and he goes, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I proved that everybody in the back in the World Wrestling Federation is one big coward, and there's nobody in the back who can beat Jeff Jarrett, because everybody in the back knows that they are no match for Double J, Jeff Jarrett. And as soon as he gets done saying Double J, that nobody in the back is a match for Double J, Jeff Jarrett, all of a sudden we hear, well, it's the Big Show. And then the Big Show comes out, and he beats the holy fuck. Oh my God, he got a 100. How the fuck did he get a 100? Oh, and that's awesome. They have great chemistry together. That is highly noted. That is noted. He comes out, and he beats the holy fuck out of Jeff Jarrett for about 8 minutes. He just pummels Jeff Jarrett and just makes him his bitch. Picks him up and chokeslam him. Jeff Jarrett doesn't even get offense in. Like, he just comes out there and just beats the shit out of him for about 8 minutes. Double J with a 83 and the Big Show with a 100. Jesus Christ. His popularity must have went through the fucking roof at the pay-per-view. Jeff the Hardcore storyline advances. Double J and Big Show have great chemistry. And Double J and Jarrett have pretty good chemistry together. Segment got a 90. We move on to the next segment, and this gets a 100. I imagine it did. And Mick Foley taking off his mask, and he is now Mick Foley. He's not Mankind. They still refer to him as Mankind, but he is now Mick Foley. He has no mask. And Raven, Big Show's in the ring, and Raven appears on the Jumbotron, and he goes, "You see, last night I proved why this right here," and he holds up the Hardcore Championship, and he goes, "belongs with me. You see, Big Show, you might be a giant in this land, but in my world, you're nothing more than a small peasant. As I sit upon my throne, wearing my crown of thorns, sitting here with my empire of dirt, every time that you look at me, I hope that it hurts. You see, you got the job done against Mankind, against Mick here. But Mick sacrificed his body to prove his loyalty to me, to prove his loyalty to the flock. You might be angry, you might be mad, Big Show, you might be hunting me down. I don't even know. But I do know one thing. That this title, I'm gonna take this title and I'm gonna put it exactly where it belongs. In the trash. You see, the name of hardcore wrestling has only brought heartache and pain to anybody who tries to be, dare I say, extreme. No one will know what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man behind my brown eyes. Because you see, Big Show, my dreams, they're empty. And with all this violence, my conscience ceased to be. But I've had hours of me being alone. And yeah, your heart may be vengeance, but I promise you that you will never get this title again. Quote the Raven, nevermore. We move on to our next segment, and it is Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he gets stopped. He didn't follow script very well, but he still got a 100. I don't understand sometimes. I don't get this game sometimes. But he gets stopped by Michael Cole, and Michael Cole asks him, he goes, "Do you have any clue who Vince McMahon sees as the future here of the World Wrestling Federation?" Stone Cold's like, "Look, I don't give a damn who it is. I don't care if it's Chris Jericho. I don't care who the hell they put me in the ring with. King Shamrock. It doesn't matter. I'm going to beat their ass." Right? He's like, "I'm going to beat them." And Vince McMahon talks about how this person's going to make me humble and everything like that. He's just like, it doesn't matter who the hell it is. I'm gonna whoop their ass. He's like, so I'm going to go out to the ring. I'm going to have myself some beers. And then they can bring their scrawny little ass out to the ring, and I'll stomp a mud hole in it and walk it dry. Because I am one Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. And we move on to the match. In about 96, not fucking bad. In about that had sensational wrestling, fantastic heat. It was Kane who came out. Kane Kane? What the hell? Defeated Steve Austin in a hardcore match, no disqualification matchup, by pinfall with a choke slam. During the match, we also had Chris Jericho run in and attack Stone Cold Steve Austin. Right after the match, Paul Bearer and Kane have great chemistry together. Steve Austin went to 96 and Kane went to 95. This could have been on a pay-per-view. That was a nice match. This is pay-per-view level matches right here. Stone Cold and benefited having crowd support, and fans love Kane too. Kane, what the hell? What the hell's going on? And after the match, Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon, along with Chris Jericho, come to the ring. As Vince McMahon raises Chris Jericho's hand along with Kane, as Kane stands there behind, just staring down Steve Austin as he's a bloody mess in the ring. Stone Cold gave it his all and fought to the very end, but he just could not beat Kane here tonight. Vince McMahon standing over Steve Austin and shoots him the bird. As we finished the show got a 95, not bad. We need to get a better TV deal in Canada, along in Europe, European regions also. Not bad little show. Not bad little show. Not bad little show at all. But why did Kane team up with Vince McMahon? As we know, months ago, it was The Undertaker who brought Kane here to the World Wrestling Federation to basically bring it down. And Kane turned his back on The Undertaker. But why now? Why of all things is Kane teaming up with Vince McMahon? What is going on with that? Nobody knows. They got a 7. WCW got a 77. There's the matches if you want to look at the matches and what they scored. Not a bad little show. But why is Kane teaming up with Vince McMahon? We are going to have to, hopefully we can get some answers on Shotgun Saturday Night. My name has been Dylan the Villain, guys. Thank y'all for watching this TEW 2020 episode of the World Wrestling Federation. And I guess it's time to announce who won out of WCW and ECW. And the winner is it was close. It was very close the whole time. But ECW's first episode got more likes and a lot more viewers, giving them the win. And so we will be moving forward with Extreme Championship Wrestling. Guys, my name is Dylan the Villain, and like we always say here at Pro Am Gaming, if you can't play with each other, do what I do and do what I'm doing right now and play with yourself. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It will be over the WCW icon right here. The playlist will be right here. You can go back and watch previous episodes. And we are doing something new of Legend of Dragoon, which is a classic PlayStation 1 RPG. One of my favorite games of all time. If you want to go check out that, the playlist will be right about here, guys. My name is Dylan Villain, like always, guys. And we will see you on the next one. Thank y'all for watching, guys.